Welcome to today's fantastic tutorial. Today we are going to learn how to create the tree sunset photo manipulation. So we'll be creating a sunset scene and we'll be placing a tree in front of that. And that tree we would be creating solely within the Photoshop itself. So let's get started. First of all, go to the file, select new and create a new document. Okay, new document dialog is opened and I'm going to choose 48, 36 and 32, 48. Okay, and resolution of 300 pixels per inch, that's fine, and we'll take the background black. Okay, so we'll press create and it is going to create one document for us. And now let us quickly save this, okay, so that we don't lose our work. And now let's bring in one background or one ground over here. So for that purpose I'm going to use this image, so I'll click and drag it over here. And before I go any further, I would like to request you that you kindly subscribe to my channel if you have not already subscribed, and subscription is absolutely free. If you are subscribing, then you will not miss any new tutorial from me. And if you want to follow along, you can download all the exercise files from this tutorial by going to the link in the description section. And you just need to go to my website, you create a free account, and then you will be having the access to free download resources, all right, or all the exercise files of all my tutorials. So please do that. So let's get started. So I have placed this ground and now let me just cut it from here. All right, so I'll create a mask and I would select a quick selection tool or this marquee selection tool. You can press it M on your keyboard or you can come over here. All right, and let me make a selection of this area, something like this, and then I need to press Control or backspace or Alt or backspace depending on whether my foreground color is black or the white. All right, and now we have got this background, and now let's refine it even further. And as you can see, at the moment it is flat and it doesn't have the grasses, so we'll have to fake the grasses over here. So for that purpose we'll go to the brushes, and in the brushes panel there is this brush which is the grass brushes, and this is a default one. You will find it over here, and we'll need to go into the settings of the brushes. Okay, so if it is not shown over here, then you can go to the windows and show brushes, and that way the brushes panel or settings would be visible. And here we need to uncheck the color dynamics and the smoothing. All right, and now let's start painting over here and make sure the opacity is 100%, and or let's say make opacity 20% and or 50%. all right, and make the size smaller and keep on painting over here. And that way what will happen, it is going to create a grass like effect. Okay, you can even paint it this way, or you can paint on the smaller areas, whichever you like. Okay, and if you make the size of the brush smaller, that is going to give you the different result. Okay, so we'll be having a smaller grasses, and you have to keep on painting to remove this hard edge. Okay, number of times, since we have the lower opacity 50%, and it's good always to have the lower opacity and paint again and again. Okay, and once it is ready, all right, now it's ready, and I feel I have painted little bit over here, so I'll paint with the white color this time, and it is going to reveal this area. Okay, and little bit over here as well. so that it looks realistic. Okay, and as you can see now it has a grass or the ground over here, and now we'll create one tree over here. But before creating a tree, we need to make this as a sunset look or the sunset scene. So for that purpose we need to create a new blank layer. Oh sorry, let's not create a blank layer. Let's go to the this adjustment panel, and it will open up this adjustment options, and select the gradient from here and click on this gradient, and it is going to show us the pre-selected or the pre-installed presets. So we are going to take this one which I have created, and if you don't know how to create it, please do watch my previous tutorials and you will get to know it. But let me show you quickly. Take any preset which has two colors and select on this color and check the color and make it black, and bring this one over here and click over here to create one more, and select this color, and this time take the yellow color. Okay, and then you can save it as a new, and that would create a new preset. Okay, and press OK. And now change this layer gradient styles to radial and check the reverse. Okay, and drag it over here, because over here we want it to be this sun. Okay, and let's scale it little bit, maybe something like this. Okay, and press OK. And now let's change its layer blend mode to screen, and that way what will happen, it is going to remove that black color from it. All right, and now we have our scene visible, and now we can make changes to it even further. So we'll double click it, and now let's click and drag this little up, something like this, and now we'll scale it even further so that it covers the entire ground. All right, and we'll press OK. All right, and now we'll select this layer, this one or ground one, and we'll create a new adjustment over here, color balance adjustment. And basically with the help of this we are going to color grade this grass. All right, so we are going to add some yellow and then little bit red. Okay, and little bit magenta if you want. All right, leave it, and then click on this drop down menu and select shadows, and let's increase red into it, and again the yellow, and let's try to add little bit green, how it looks. And this one is also looking good, so we'll have plus 36 green, and let's see the difference by turning it on and off. If we turn it on and off, you can see we have created very slightest of difference. All right, slightest of changes to this, and we can, if we want, we can even adjust the highlights. So in the highlights we can add this color cyan, and that way our grasses would look more greener. And let's add some yellow, little bit more yellow, and that way it will be looking good. So you can check it out by turning it on and off. All right, so as you can see now our background is ready, and let's zoom in further, and you can see we still have some hard edges over here. We can still see these hard edges, so we'll select this background again, and we'll, with the black color, we'll again paint it over here. So this time what we are going to do, we'll taking the 100% opacity. All right, so we'll be painting slowly with the smaller size so that we remove this hard edge. Okay, we don't want this hard edge because that would not look good. Okay, and it's always to pay attention to minute things, because these will makes lots of difference. All right, and yes, I think now it's looking good, and this is the background. And if you want, you can save this background as well for your future use. All right, and let's refine this background or this sunset scene even further. So we'll just double click it and we'll drag this into the center and drag it up, something like this. Okay, and we'll click on the gradient, and I feel that we have this yellow color is too much, so we'll drag it down and we'll restrict it to the certain area. All right, something like this. Okay, and we'll press OK and press Ctrl S to save our work. Okay, and now we are going to create one tree over here. So for that purpose, what we are supposed to do, we'll go down, we'll select this layer and we'll create a new layer and we'll call this as a tree. Okay, and now in order to generate the tree, you need to have the Photoshop CC or the later version. Only then you will be able to generate the tree from the scratch within the Photoshop. All right, so now we need a path on which we want to have the tree. So we'll select P for pen tool, or you can come over here and make sure from this drop down menu you select the path. All right, and now let's create a tree. You can create the funky tree as well. So I'm creating a tree something like this. Okay, and I'll go to the filter and select render and select tree, and it will open up the dialog box where we have all these options and I can choose from, and it will give us the preview how our tree would look like. Okay, so this is the tree which would be which we will be getting. Okay, and sorry from here we can adjust the light directions. Okay, if we want the light direction from this side, so we can choose this one, and if we want it from this side, so we can drag it from here. All right, and light direction doesn't matter in this photo manipulation because we are going to make it silhouette. Okay, silhouette is something dark tree. Okay, so from here you can control the leaves amount, how much leaves you want. All right, so I think I'll go for something like this, and I can even adjust the size of the leaves. So I'll go for smaller size. I want less leaves on this, and you can decide the branches height as well. All right, so if you want the longer height, then you can increase this slider, and if you want smaller heights, then you can bring it to the left side. All right, so you can see the preview, the live preview, how your tree is going to look like. So for that purpose, I think I would go for something like this, or let's drag it this way until I feel it's right. Okay, and branch heights. All right, so I think this one is looking good to me. Okay, and I will press OK, and now as you can see it has created this tree. All right, so we no longer need this path, so we'll go to the path and we'll select this and press delete. All right, and now our tree is created. Now we need to make it silhouette. So in order to create its silhouette, we need to press Ctrl U or Command U on our keyboard, and we'll bring its lightness down, and that way it would be the darker black color. And as you can see at the moment we are not able to see it because we are under this layer. All right, so don't worry, we are going to fix it. So I'll press OK and we'll drag this up, and now you can see this black tree is over here. Okay, and now let's refine this tree. So we'll create a layer mask from here, and again with the same grass brush we are going to paint in over here. All right, so we'll go to the brushes, and it has already selected our brush, and we'll keep on painting with the little larger brush this time. Okay, and it should be something like this, or let's paint it even over here. Okay, and you can see now it appears that this is over here. Okay, that this is actually on the ground. All right, and this area is way too dark, too light over here, or this grass. So don't worry, we are going to fix it. And now let's create one sun over here. So for that purpose, we'll again use the same method. We'll go to this adjustment options and we'll select the gradient, and from this gradient fill we'll select again the same which we have created last time, and we will press OK, and we'll change its layer style to radial, and we'll check the reverse. Okay, and let's scale it down, maybe something like this, and drag it over here, and we'll press OK. And now in order to see it properly, we change its layer blend mode to screen. Alright, and now we can see our tree, we can see our sun, something like this. So if you want to refine it, so we'll just double click it, click on this gradient, and let's make it little sharp. Okay, so you can make this sharp by dragging this slider. Okay, it controls how much feather will be having between these two sliders or these two colors. Okay, so if you want, you can drag it over here. Okay, so this way we are going to get this kind of a result. Okay, and this kind of a sun is looking good, and we'll press OK, and we'll drag it over here, or let's say, I think here it's fine, and let's try to scale it how it looks. I think this way it's looking good. Okay, and we can let's try it over here. No, it's not looking good. So, or if we put it over here, that would also look good. Or let's scale it down. Okay, something like this. Oh, sorry. And let's place it over here. Okay, and we need to make changes over here on this. All right, so we'll press OK, and we'll go back over on this gradient fill. We'll just double click it, click on the gradient editor, and this time we will remove this yellow color, or we'll drag it down. Okay, and we'll press OK, and with the move tool we'll click and drag it up. So we don't want to see that blue or yellow color, or we can change its color from here as well. So we'll click and choose something like this. All right, the same color, same orange color, and that way that would be gone. And we'll press OK, and we'll press OK, and as you can see here we have some dark edges, so we need to scale it little bit or drag it down, so that we have this entire orange color over here, and we'll press OK. And at the moment it is also affecting this area, so we don't want it to affect that much. So what we can do, we can choose the gradient tool, and from this gradient editor we'll select black to transparent gradient. Okay, and if you don't have it, don't worry, you can select this black to white. Okay, and we'll press OK, and make sure you select the linear gradient editor or gradient style, and we'll click and drag it out, so that way it is not going to affect this area. All right, it is going to affect only this area. And we'll press Ctrl S, and now you can see we have got our sun as well as the background and all that. So let's enhance it even further. So we'll bring some birds over here. All right, so for the birds, let me go for here and bring down my birds and drag it over here, and let me make this size smaller, something like this, and we are going to place it over here, and we'll lower down its opacity so that it doesn't look that sharp and it gets mixed with the background. And as you can see at the moment it has some white outer edges. All right, so how we can fix that? We can simply change its layer blend mode to darken, and that way only darker area would be visible. All right, and if you want you can increase its opacity a little bit more, something like this. And now let's add some gradient or vignette effect to this. So for that purpose again we'll create one more gradient, and this time we'll select this black to transparent gradient. And if you don't have it, let me show you how we can make it. You can select any, this one black and white, and click and drag it outside, and this time click it over here and make the opacity 0. Alright, and that way it will be creating this black to transparent gradient, and you can press new, and that would be saved for later use, and we'll press OK. And I think this one is fine, so we can drag it little down and we'll refine it. So we'll make its opacity little lower, something like this, and we'll select this layer and we'll take the brush tool, and this time we'll take the soft edge brush from here and make sure the opacity is low, that is 10%, around 10%, and we'll paint over here with the black color. So it is going to remove it from here. Alright, and if you feel that this ground is of a big size or larger ground, then you can, what you can do, you can select this trees and this ground, and let's try to drag it down over here, something like this, and that would also look good. Okay, let's see how it looks now, and now it's looking really good. Okay, so you can press Ctrl S, and if you want to enhance it even further, go to the adjustment panel and select on vibrance and increase its saturation a little bit and increase its vibrance, and let's create one brightness and contrast adjustment. So increase the brightness and contrast. Okay, and we'll select again the gradient tool from here and make sure it is black to white, and press OK, and make sure you select this time the linear gradient or the radial gradient, sorry, and we'll click on this sun and drag it outside. And that way what it is going to do, it is going to add, but it is going to remove it from the center and it will show it outside, but this is not what we want. So what we can do, we can press Ctrl I to inverse it, and that way the brightness will remain only in the center and not outside. So you can see the difference by turning it on and off. So this was before and this is after we have added this. All right, so our final this tree sunset photo manipulation is ready. So thank you so much. I hope you have learned a lot from this tutorial, and if you like it, please don't forget to hit the like button, and please do subscribe to my channel for more videos, and please do share your work or your images with me on my Facebook group, which is called The Lens of You. You'll find a link to that in the description section below. So thank you so much. Bye bye. See you in the next episode.